Hello and welcome to Warframe. My name's Todd, also known as Mage, and this is of course Warframe. Last time we left off completing some Dog Days events. As you can see, the Dog Days are now over. This video might also be coming out quite later than expected. I was delayed in real life for some of things that were going on with me, so I had to kind of skip over a recording. So, yeah, hopefully that won't happen too often. If it does, I'll try and post any sort of information I can, if I'm able. Otherwise, just don't be so surprised. This time around, our major objective, of course, is to complete more of the Eris Junction objectives, which our main one, of course, that we've been working towards is 15 ways of defense on Stöfler. And, of course, Stöfler is on Lua. I think we might be able to get into there and be able to do it relatively easy, if we get lucky. I did do some changes. Our major things is just from the Nightwave. I believe I already stated that I was going to go after the aura mods, of which I did. I went after specifically Energy Siphon. I also managed to get Corrosive Protection, so we now have both of those. I fully upgraded them. This is our Limbo build for the time being. You can see the way it looks and kind of how I outfitted it. Is there anything else I could throw on here to really improve it? I guess I could throw on Hunter Adrenaline. It's not massively useful to me, but I might as well. Okay, so this will be our build. You can see what Hunter Adrenaline does there. Pretty much it's just a basic standard build. There's nothing too fancy about it. Our main objective, of course, is to have as much duration as possible so we can keep spamming our energy-intensive abilities. Here's our Dex Sibaris, which we'll be taking into the mission. Our Dex Cirrus. And we'll be taking the Broken War instead of the Galaxy Prime just because it's a little bit faster and I was having more luck trying to stay alive. Our major thing that we'll be having on our blade though is Life Strike. During the Dog Days, of course, there was some mods available that you could get, and one of them majorly being Mediray. I made sure to get my hands on that while I was here. If you didn't have a chance to get this, you can still get this mod from Keva Delthame on Sedina, but it's very hard to get because of the fact that its drop rate is so bad. Overall, though, midi rate is amazing. You can see it restores 12% of your health over 4 seconds. It has a small internal cooldown, meaning that it won't activate all the time. It will continually restore 12 health over 4 seconds. But it will still be massively useful to you just trying to stay alive. Now, thanks to that, though, our Sentinel is extremely useful, so starting to buff up things like regen. Calculated redirection, metal fiber, and if I had the health version of metal fiber and calculated redirection, I would throw those on there as well. But right now I'm not super worried about it, and we don't have a massive amount of endo to spend. I don't think I did anything with the sweeper. I just threw a bunch of mods on there. Yeah, I didn't really do anything massively with it. But yeah, that's our basic build for the time being. We'll try and upgrade it more as we go along, but we're going to just jump straight into Stöfler and see what we can do. I have no idea how this is actually going to go, so we're just going to hope that we can do it, and if we're not able to, maybe we'll swap objectives to doing stuff in the Derelict. Otherwise, yeah, that'll be this episode. So let's go ahead and show off what we can do. I did change our ship's colors from black to white just because I think the white looks a little bit better in space. You can agree to disagree if you so choose.
Our position has been compromised. Defend the cargo until reinforcements arrive.
So our main objective is to have lots and lots of ammo for as long as possible and be very efficient in our killing. You can't wait for a second if you wanted to wait for allies to show up. Let's see, do I need to worry about that? I don't think I do. I don't think we're going to worry about that. We're just going to go straight into it. And we're going to hope that there's not going to be any massive changes here. We do want to pop out and kill as many enemies as we're able to. Pop back in. Let the enemies kind of come to you, because while they're in the zone, if you kill them, you get more energy, and that's good times. Make sure to keep stasis up as long as possible, as it's the most effective ability you have in your toolkit. As you can see, the Cataclysm does slowly shrink, so that becomes a problem. We do need to kill, though. So, bring this back over. It will give us a chance to kill a bunch of the enemies, not worry about our objective, really. Do note that, like I said, you want to keep stasis up, so anytime you hear it fall off by its noise, you want to make sure to put it back up as soon as possible. Grineer do, of course, do attacks that cause slash damage, so if you get hit with a slash block, you want to make sure that you're getting healed as soon as you're able to. When that falls off, reactivate it, that'll give us some kills. And yeah, as you can see, much more successful in our defense of this objective thanks to Limbo. This is kind of Limbo's realm of expertise, I suppose you could say. So we're going to take it all the way. All the way that we're able to, that is. Pop out, pop back in. Activate that. We can also pop our bubble early, but that does present a risk if there's something like a bomb bird around. Something can do massive damage. We want to make sure that our objective is having enough time to heal, or as much time to heal as we're able to give it. And as you can see, our energy is a joke kind of at this point, thanks to us killing stuff in our rift here, and just being in our rift a large amount of time. So we can even deactivate that, reactivate it, get some more kills, pick up more energy. Yeah, not hard at all, really. Now we do have to go, of course, through 15 waves, and we're only at wave 3, so the fight's not over yet. The difference that some good mods and a good build make really show in this sort of thing. And even if we wanted to go up and melee enemies, for instance, we can entirely do that thanks to our war with Life Strike. But we don't want to do that just yet. We definitely don't want to let them hit us for too long, as that would just be silly. Specifically our objective, having that get hit too much would just be a problem. Okay, so I've activated Life Strike. You can see just whittle these guys away, steal all their health. Make sure our objective's safe though. And because of the way stasis works and the way our cataclysm works, we can kind of just, even if we're not in our stasis or cataclysm, we can still protect the objective. This thing's sort of a joke, in a way, but only if we have enough energy to make that work. So we've kind of burned through all of our energy, as you can see. We'll just have to slowly regenerate it over time. Which I'm hoping won't be too slow here. Perhaps activating stasis was the wrong thing to do. Probably would have been better for us to have not wasted our energy on Life Strike. There we go. Activate that. Get our energy back here. Thanks to killing stuff in the rift. Pull out our melee weapon, activate this. Life Strike him. Some of our HP back at least. We do want to make sure to keep our Cataclysm up. As you saw, the objective took a lot of damage just from a short amount of time. It was out to almost like 3,000 damage. Which is the exact opposite of what we wanted to do. Yeah, relatively simple once you kind of get the hang of it. Even doing defense objectives solo is relatively easy. Thanks to our Sentinel giving us health, we're good to go. The only thing that might make this build a little bit better is more duration, so we don't have to recast our abilities so often. Maybe even some rejuvenation from aura, so we can keep our Sentinel topped off, but none of those things are critical, as we're maintaining pretty well. It's nice that the edge of our Cataclysm, of course, gives us a damage field around their objective as well, because that kind of helps us deal with some of these enemies. Not have to get murdered for it. We do need to deal with those big enemies quickly, though, such as the Hayaka masters and the bombards later on, as they will become massive problems if we just let them attack our objective. The Hayakas do surprisingly large amounts of melee damage if they really get on top of you, so just beware. You can see that just dipping in and out of here is really effective at killing our enemies. Our Sentinel almost got killed there by that Hellion. That's kind of unfortunate. 4, 3, 2, 1. So we got them in our little dome of pain here. Good to just pick them off. Not even worry about the damage that they do. Come on, buddy. Come on. You booby. Come on, you idiots. Deal with your shitty damage. They are. That is kind of how you can play Limbo in one way.
Extraction is ready, unless you can handle more of the enemy. Keep fighting. Another
But
opportunity
now
to
you see the
extract will appear soon.
special effect of Stöfler is the map changes here. And yes, it does become a problem later on. Because as the map changes, the enemies gain different areas of which they can attack you from. Not the biggest problem, it's slightly annoying. Of course, we can't attack them, but they can. We can't attack them if they're outside of our field here, but they can't attack us. So that's our major objective. Doesn't matter how quickly we actually pick them off, as long as we get them all in the end. Oh boy. As you can see, just a massive amount of damage is surrounding us. Can't let that happen too often. We gotta make sure to deal with those Hellions as soon as we're able. Those Hellions just do a massive amount of damage to us. And we might even have to swap to Life Strike every now and then later on, because we might lose Carrier. Decent amount of damage. We'll have to pay attention to any Hellions that appear. Keep note of them. That way we can ensure we're not getting murdered by those missiles in one go. Pick up any energy orbs that have been strewn around. Kill any enemies that wander into our bubble here. Come on in. I don't bite, I promise. It's a good thing I'm an adept player, though. Magicians, right? You can never trust them with anything. Limbo's kind of a magician. He's definitely got the demeanor for it. Come on. Boom. And that is how Limbo is as effective as he is. Of course, if you have allies as well, it makes it even more effective. Having them jump straight in, be able to deal with your enemies is great. Picking off enemies outside of the bubble is also a nice little perk of having a couple allies around. Do we want to activate early? Yeah, what are we going to do? Pop! Kill them. Kill that Hellion. Kill that guy. And kill those. We're good to go. So yeah, cycling between just these two abilities, Stasis and Cataclysm, you can see that you can really lock down an objective. So Limbo is very good for defense. The only downside to Limbo's abilities, of course, is it can prevent other Warframes from being effective killers. So just be aware of that. almost got really hurt there. Okay. So we can swap over to Life Strike, get our life back up, and get out of there. Gotta make sure that we don't line up our Cataclysm falling off with our Stasis falling off like we just did. Now, unactivating and reactivating your Stasis by yourself is sometimes worthwhile, sometimes not. You don't want to let them get too close to us. Kill that one. This one off. I'd like to have gotten that Hayek Master, but that's okay. Hopefully they'll come into us here soon. I don't think this goes through... Yeah, it doesn't go through Cataclysm, so area of effect attacks are not spooky to us in any way, really. Oh dear. We almost got murdered there. You can see that area of effect attacks, like I said, are not spooky to us in any way. I'm not sure what was kind of murdering us right there. I'm pretty sure it was either this person's face or a Hellion I didn't see. Still problematic though. Getting killed instantly would be bad for us. Thankfully we haven't really lost a whole lot of the objectives, so that's also kind of good. In certain ways, we're kind of winning this. We're up, anyway. Though our carrier has already died once. And that means that as a good friend can heal us, we might lose his healing sooner rather than later. I'm kind of glad I put Hunter Adrenaline on my Limbo now, as in those split-second situations we might have a little bit more luck. You can even use the objective like I just did as a source of cover. Because, of course, it has far more health than you do. And it regenerates quite quickly. So I'm not massively worried about it dying. At least not in these early stages, for sure. Boom. Capture all these Hellions. These individuals. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. And that, my good sirs, is how you easily complete the defense objectives as a Limbo. You can also get kind of tricksy with it, being of course the fact that your Cataclysm might be cast anywhere you'd like it to be. Meaning you can kind of throw it on top of a group of enemies that is slightly far away from you. It still stasis the heck out of them. Meaning that it's still very effective. Still doing that. We're gonna reactivate this. We're gonna do that. Deal with all these Hellions, the enemies that were too stupid to get too close. Man, it feels good to have complete control over the time itself, right? Come on in, guys. The stasis is fine. The major thing that you need to keep in mind when playing the Limbo is you need to keep the flow of battle in your favor. In other words, activate your abilities yourself, deactivate them yourself. It's kind of a weird thing to state, but I think that there is some logic to it in the fact that when Limbo stasis deactivates by itself, it gives the enemies enough time to start their AI again. Meaning that they kind of have enough time to attack you. So if possible, you don't want to let it immediately fall off.
Do you choose to leave now or continue fighting?
The next phase begins.
Continue to defend. You will be rewarded for your bravery.
So yeah, constantly changing and all that. Not impossibly difficult for us, but kind of scary if it's your first time, considering the map will change on you and you might not be used to it. Thankfully, just us being in our cataclysm gives us energy. Otherwise, this might be a little bit of a problem. Sorry about that. I was adjusting my timer there. Making sure that we have a full episode here. Definitely hate to skip you guys after skipping you already. So, of course, other frames are just as good as Limbo for dealing with defense. I just think that if you're just starting out in the game, though, Limbo is a fantastic frame to start doing defenses with. Because he has fantastic control abilities that work on other missions as well. And your defense area can be changed relatively easily. It also kind of helps you learn how to play a kind of a less tough frame. So a frame unlike Rhino, for instance. There are lots of frames that don't have large health pools and are not able to tank a lot of damage. And you definitely want to learn how to play those frames, as a lot of them are massively useful in different parts of the game. Loki, for instance, is a great example of a frame you probably want to learn to play if you're just starting out. But it does a lot come with mods as well, though, so don't beat yourself up if you're not as good with those sorts of frames. Stasis. Cataclysm. Come here, you jerk. And that one. We got Killing Blow. Not horrible, definitely not the best, though. Not really a mod I'd use. Could be useful if you intend on building around channeling, however, with the supposed changes to melee that they're going to make one of these days, we might never get to see the chance of using an ability like that. Who knows how it'll change in the future, though. I would honestly think that they would make Killing Blow an ability that works off of finishers just because of the name, but there's another mod that does that instead. Melee finishers in Warframe, of course, are very powerful and tend to instantly kill most enemies, aside from exceptionally tanky ones such as bombards and whatnot. Do I care to... yeah. So as you can kind of see, because I'm activating Cataclysm myself, I don't think it really gives enemies enough time to hit me all that effectively. Which is exactly what I want. Because the more time enemies have to hit you, the worse of a day you're going to have. You can kind of see that the major objective I'm going for here is hitting enemies on like kind of the fringes. And reactivating my bowl so I get the enemies that have come a little bit too close. Sometimes enemies will just wander into your bubble anyway, which is okay by me. I need them for mana anyway. Or energy, that is. Just pop them in the face anyway. Limbo is most certainly not the bravest of Warframes. But that's okay, he's kind of got his own flair. Having his own dominion like this is kind of interesting. As I stated, the major downfall of Limbo is, of course, any sort of enemy that can deactivate Warframe abilities. As they become far... your abilities become far more useless if you can't actually affect them with them. There are some frames that kind of go against that principle and that work quite well against enemies that that cancel out Warframe abilities, but it's not a very common thing. Most Warframe builds are built around using your abilities to their maximum capability, as most Warframe abilities are more powerful than weapons by far. But some weapons are quite good. Especially some of the upgraded beam weapons they changed a while back. Like the Ignis, for instance, is a fantastic weapon for clearing out crowds. A lot of the sniper rifles are also fantastic for doing damage to very large otherwise unkillable enemies. Thanks to the combo counter, and just a lot of the sheer damage they can output. It's kind of silly. So we got that. So if an enemy is killed in like the outside of our cataclysm, it does give us energy resist at least, which is good. Also worry about enemies inside the bubble. Give us even more energy. Sure we don't run out. The major thing is Limbo, of course, is you just don't want to run out of energy. If you run out of energy for any reason, you're kind of up a creek without a paddle. The only thing you can really do is shift yourself into a rift and hope you can generate enough mana to actually make a difference. Give you back either stasis or, more specifically, cataclysm. Because cataclysm is ridiculously good. Eventually here we'll also get the chance to test out our other Warframe that we just built a while ago, Oberon. I'm going to be using him quite often as he's a very good support, damage, and kind of just all-around good frame. And if you build him correctly, he's nearly impossible to kill. And I think we have enough mods to actually make him quite tough to deal with. So we're going to test that out in a bit. Maybe we'll do that while we're dealing with derelicts afterwards. Almost done, aren't we? Just 2 more waves. And of course you can see I'm being very methodical about this. It's kind of what you have to do with Limbo. You have to kind of plan out what you're going to do, how you're going to go about it. You can never really be lax on a Warframe like Limbo or some of the other ones that are low health, as it will almost certainly mean your doom. Let's deactivate stasis, regulate stasis. Do I want to pop my bubble? Yeah. It's not hitting far enough, so this is one of those times when a little bit of range, a little bit more range might be more helpful, as it allows us to reach a little bit farther. But it's okay. We're reaching far enough, I think, to hit most of the enemies, which is what we need. Definitely need to deal with those Hager Masters, though. Just let that one kill himself. Where did he go? There he is. Headshots are very easy when the enemies are moving. This kind of works. Limbo really works well with frames like Mesa, Sarah, and whatnot, because being able to create a bubble that your allies are invincible is quite useful. It should also be noted that your Cataclysm, when activated, does stagger enemies slightly, so they won't, also while deactivated as well, so they won't really be able to hit you if you deactivate and reactivate it quick enough, which is exactly what we're trying to do here. Let's swap over to our Fierce. Mow these guys down. You can see our Fierce are kind of a force to be reckoned with at this point. Our Fierce just kind of tear enemies up. Only downside, of course, being that we go through a lot of ammo very quickly with our Fierce. Carrier kind of mitigates that, but not completely. I'm surprised, honestly, Carrier has lived as long as he has. Usually when a Sentinel gets this low health, they don't tend to live for very long. Come here, Hellion. Alright, he's gonna be a jerk. So we're gonna go here, reactivate that. Oh, he's dead. Cataclysm killed him. Let's reactivate that. Murder that guy. Sons again. He pops in the bubble. So it's kind of like a tower defense with Limbo. Letting enemies come into your bubble, killing them. Not as effective if other people are killing them, but still just as effective if you're the one killing them. reason it's slightly less effective as other people at killing them is you tend to not be the hero of the story, if that makes any sense. You're just kind of the guy who provides the bubble. But if that's your sort of thing and you like support and doing awesome, cool time shenanigans, like freezing enemies in place, just setting up, lining up cool attacks, just kind of taking it easy, then Limbo might be the perfect frame for you. I'm kind of glad I actually had a chance to show him off, because he's very powerful in the right hands, but not everybody really likes him. And he can be slightly annoying for your teammates if you're using in and out of the bubble rapidly trying to kill enemies. So, a lot of times your teammates will often tell you not to use the bubble for that very reason, but we're not going to worry about it. Come on, right inside the bubble you are. Okay, we're gonna reactivate. Hopefully get those two. Yep, got the bombard, we're good to go. Is there a Mayaka monster? It's not. Yeah, as you can see, we've already destroyed all of our ammo for our Furus. They're very effective, but man, they piss through that ammo.
Extraction is ready.
Alright,
Unless you can handle
so that
more
is
of the
15
enemy.
waves, and we got Deep Freeze for our trouble. So it's a pistol mod, not too bad. Not too bad at all. That'll kind of round out this episode. You can see that Limbo's not a bad frame if you build him right. And it kind of applies to all frames and all weapons, is if you have the correct mods and you know what you're doing, you can make any weapon or Warframe really quite effective. Let's double check that we've gotten our completion for that. And there you go. Completed that. Next time we'll be focusing on the Derelict, trying to find and defeat Lephantis, which, like I said, we'll probably do with Oberon, because he might be really effective against Lephantis. We'll see. After that, we'll probably do the Neo Void Relics. But until then, and until next time, goodbye.